Hello, Game Day Coaching members. This is Rick Storley from New Home Sales Coach, and we're back again to talk about how to deal with and sell today's price-focused buyers. Now, we've been focusing on the top 7 objections we're getting from today's price-focused buyers, or what I like to call outlet mall mentality buyers. Today, we're going to discuss when you close for the next step and you get the objection, well, we want to get 2 other bids or 3 other bids or whatever it is, Mr. Builder, before we do anything. So here's how you're going to deal with it. So the strategy you're going to use is how to lead the prospect to answer their own objections through questioning. By far one of my favorite strategies, usually works the best with dealing with objections too. The phrase that I'm going to incorporate here or suggest that you do is, can I share a thought with you you might find valuable? So this is how it works. Mr. and Mrs. Buyer, the next step is to reserve the home site or deposit the money for the plan deposit, or perhaps authorize the paperwork for the construction agreement. And they say, well, we want to get a couple of other bids before we go ahead with you. And you say, sure, no problem. In fact, I can help you with that. Are you aware of the 3 components that make up every bid? No, not really. Well, the first is design, and obviously you've done your best to create a plan for true comparison. Now, if they haven't, you're going to talk to them about how can you get a bid when you don't have a plan for comparison, and we'll work that into the end of the strategy here, so keep that in mind. The second, Mr. and Mrs. Buyer, is detailed specifications, and the third is the installation methods, or what we call the scope of work. Are you following me so far? Yeah, I guess so. Well, the perception most consumers have is that they are in control of the bidding process because they have leveled the playing field by creating an apples-to-apples comparison. However, 99.9% of the time, this does not happen. I can tell you right now which builder will win your bid. Do you know who it is? This is a great one here. And the buyer says, no, how do you know? And you say, well, it's the builder who's willing to buy it. In other words, the one who is most desperate. We or any other builder can buy a bid by making assumptions on the specifications and the scope of work that you as a consumer are not aware of. In other words, the things you're not even thinking of, we're going to manipulate in order to win the bid. That is, we'll cut corners wherever we can without you knowing it. Are you okay with that? Well, the buyer says, well, absolutely not. Well, the only way you can get a true bid comparison is by hiring an architect and spending, say, $15,000 plus to create a detailed set of plans, a detailed set of specifications, and a complete detailed set of the scope of work. Is this something you'd like to do? Not really. Well, Mr. and Mrs. Buyer, let's take a closer look at how the design build process works and see if that's something that appeals to you. Okay? Now, if they have not done a plan yet and need to get a plan for bidding comparison, you're going to say, you know what, you need to get a plan anyway. You said you like our design style, you met with our designer, you like that. Let's go ahead and get the plan started with us. Great. If it makes sense to continue forward, wonderful. If not, you go with your other bidder. The idea being you get to spend the time with them, build the trust, create the relationship, and you got probably a 9 out of 10 chance they're going to go with you anyway. Be ready for this because it happens all the time. The ideal situation is that you are going to create an atmosphere in that initial consultation and educate them on the fallacy of the bidding process, that they won't want to go down that anyway. They're going to just do interviews and they're going to go with the builder they trust most, and hopefully that's you. But if they want to go down that route, you have to go through this script. Happy selling.